After a Michigan mother was convicted in the murder of her stepson, questions are being raised about another child's sudden death that happened under her care.
The 7 investigators were the first to reveal the warnings missed by CPS before Kyron Kelemen was killed.
Well, now 7 investigator Ross Jones reveals why a prosecutor is joining the family and friends of another young boy, saying his death deserves a closer look.
It's not like they didn't know about it. It's not like they didn't talk to people. It's not like they didn't see the abuse. They just didn't do anything about it.
Of all the cases Adam Strong has tried in his 14 years as a prosecutor, none haunt him more than the murder of 6-year-old Kyron Kelemen.
Kyron was an innocent little boy. He liked trucks. He sat through his school. He was doing his schoolwork that day, right up until she killed him.
Kyron was killed by his stepmother, Alyssa, convicted in April of first-degree murder. As we revealed last year, he died following multiple complaints to CPS in Genesee County. Repeated warnings that Kyron had bruises all over his face and in the middle of his rib cage, that Alyssa is physically abusing him, and that after showing up to school with visible injuries, he was pulled out to cover up the bruises and abuse. The complaints, made in September, October, and November of 2023, would all be closed. By January, Kyron was murdered.
Failure to protect is something that CPS can also step in for. That and the fact that they didn't do anything about that CPS did not substantiate for that, is mind-blowing.
Strong speaks from experience. Before he became a prosecutor, he investigated allegations of child abuse for CPS.
When you got this case and you looked at the CPS investigations, what did you make of them?
An incredible failure. Many people, not just CPS in Genesee County, but many people failed this boy.
Kyron was not the first child to die suddenly under Alyssa's care. Her biological son Carter died in 2020. Alyssa reported finding the 4-year-old unresponsive after getting out of the shower. She would tell Flint Police he'd been sick at points during the previous month. Officers found no visible injuries or bruises, and no charges were ever filed. After an 8-month investigation, CPS found no evidence of abuse or neglect. The cause and manner of death would be deemed undetermined by the Genesee County Medical Examiner. No one has been identified as a suspect in Carter's death. Today, prosecutor Adam Strong, who has reviewed police and autopsy records related to Carter's death, says the investigations by CPS and Flint Police were both woefully incomplete.
They couldn't figure out how he died. His autopsy was completely normal except for the fact that he had a cold, and he's 4 years old and supposedly was only out of her sight for 15 minutes and then suddenly stopped breathing and was dead. 4-year-olds don't just die like that. Something happened.
He was such a happy kid all the time.
Elizabeth Wheeler is Carter's grandmother and Alyssa's mother. She testified against her daughter during Kyron's murder trial.
She called me and said, "Mom, Kyron stopped breathing." My first response to her was, "Are you serious? Another child?"
After seeing how detectives with the Eaton County Sheriff's Office investigated Kyron's death, Elizabeth began to have concerns over the thoroughness of the investigation into Carter's conducted by Flint Police.
We were never called in for an interview.
Other than being questioned at the hospital, were you ever questioned?
No.
Were any other relatives questioned that you know
No,
of?
not that I'm aware of.
He was just such a sweet boy and so kind.
Tessa Williams was one of Alyssa's best friends. After Kyron's death, she provided police with text messages between her and Alyssa about bruises found on Kyron. She told us about a conversation she'd had with Alyssa shortly before Carter's death.
Her boyfriend said there were too many kids in the home. He'd had enough and she needed to leave. And so she had called and let me know what was going on. She was very upset. The next thing I know, Carter had passed away.
It was information she would have shared with Flint Police if they'd ever asked.
Were you ever questioned by Flint Police?
No, I would have sat down with them gladly and we could have went over some things because I would have loved to let them know what I knew, but it almost felt like there wasn't really an investigation at all.
Have you seen evidence to show that Flint Police investigated Carter's death?
What I have seen is that they responded, that there were some initial questions. I would not call it a thorough investigation.
Flint Police declined our public records request for their investigation into Carter's death because 6 years after he died, the case is still open.
Had Carter's case been handled correctly to begin with, maybe Kyron would still be alive.
While the investigation remains open, family members say it reached a standstill long ago. Today, they want a third party to review Carter's autopsy to see if anything could have been missed. But to get that done, they need the Genesee County Medical Examiner and Prosecutor's Office to sign off. They have not.
My thinking is that you would do everything you could to find out a 4-year-old passing away. I mean, it would just seem like natural curiosity that you would want to find out, especially when it's your job.
In a statement, the Genesee County Prosecutor's Office said, "Our responsibility as prosecutors is to follow the evidence. The autopsy was performed by a highly trained, highly regarded, and experienced medical examiner, and there is no evidentiary basis to question his findings nor legitimate justification to support referral to an outside pathologist in search of a different outcome." Flint Police and the Genesee County Medical Examiner did not respond to our requests seeking comment.
We are in charge of protecting kids as human beings. They're innocent and they can't protect themselves. That's what our job is. That's what we're supposed to do as adults. Do it.
Alyssa Kelemen's attorney released a statement saying in part that Carter's death was not the subject of the criminal proceedings against Miss Kelemen, nor was the issue and circumstances surrounding the death of Carter Kramer admitted into evidence at trial. Any suggestion connecting Miss Kelemen to criminal responsibility for Carter's death is unproven and remains unsupported by the official findings in the case. I'm Ross Jones, 7 News, Detroit.
Wow, so many questions left unanswered. 2 little boys gone too soon.
And the mere fact that there are multiple instances under the same person's care means that it should be investigated further.
Yeah,
We'll
all
see.
right. Let's turn to the weather. Dave?